Hmm. Let's check the audio. I don't know if it's good or bad. I feel bad. Let's check the audio. It's quite okay. I don't know if it's good or bad. I feel bad. Okay. Okay. Let's put the chat so I can watch. Let's download the replay. Let's put the replay in the correct place. Our name. Let's wait a little bit before we start. Maybe we can advertise the Necro server. I guess it's 8 so we can do it. I guess. Let's ping Nick Live. Oh shit, not StarCraft. Wow. We will do the presentation in 2 minutes, no more. Just wait for a little bit more people to join me. Then we can start. Oh, this dump OBS. Okay, should work now. Sometimes it bug for not an apparently reason. So, welcome everyone to the third episode of It's IMBA or Do You Suck? Today I got an email from Nick Leaf. Nick Leaf is a quite old member of the Eden community. He's been around for a long time. He should know the games. He should know how to build units. So I will skip the basic. I will try to analyze the replay and I will read his email before we start so we can figure out what is actually for him IMBA, or maybe he just suck at the game. So let's figure out. Hello Spartacus, my name is Nick Cleave and today I nearly uninstalled Eden. Wow, you will ask me why? Well, that's simple. Glorfindel. Thanks to that Himba hero I also got an army with a good game partner. That hero is just ridiculous. He's super cheap and he can win an entire army alone. My macro was absolutely perfect in that game, and I was winning hard. I only lost because of that idiotic and ridiculous hero. Please tell me something about it. Best regards, Nick. So our friend here, Nick, is supposed to macro perfectly during the game. He was completely ahead, so he was winning the game really hard until Glorfindel come and kill his entire army. So we will figure out if that's the true, or my friend, you're a liar. But can be. So we got, this is the third episode. In the past previous episode we got 2 sax player, nothing of IMBA at the moment, at least in those replay. So let's figure out if we have 3 and Elendil is absolutely a genius, or maybe this time we got something of IMBA. Let's figure out. So we got here Spalmy in the top of the map has dwarves. We got nothing unless than Nickleaf. And in the bottom of the map, spamming as Imladris, we got Snens. So we will keep our eyes on Nick. We will not analyze the replay of Snens. We will keep an eye on Nick, and we will try to understand what is the move of Nick. At the moment he's going for a battle wagon start with, I don't know how effective it is in this version, but I think that against Imladris is not so amazing, because Imla's water are actually pretty good against battle wagon, but maybe combining with this sword you can do an early cheese and try to demolish the Imla's water. In this scenario Nick did basically grab his first farm, ignoring both creeps, so this one and this one, and going directly into the middle with an early and mega aggro style. So I figured out that maybe he will go even for a base rush. No, he just scouted, I guess. He scouted what he's going for, and actually he scouted the barracks, so nothing to be scared of, so no cap start. So at the moment he can do his battle wagon start completely safe. Actually I could like this aggro style, but since those guardians are pretty tanky, you can actually send only 1 battalion in the other side of the map to a rush. You actually don't need 2 battalion basically, and it's not actually a rush, he's trying to finding the army position of his opponent. His opponent, by the way, is quite ready, he's going for pike first. So with Gildor he scouted the battle wagon start and instantly reacted, which is actually good. But I repeat myself, he doesn't care about Imladis too much. So if he wouldn't waste his ability, at this point this battalion of sword would be RIP. But since he wasted his ability of the speed in the first part of the game, he wasn't able to chase down this Imla's sword. At the moment he can do nothing to this, so the only good reason to fight this is if you want to lose the game. You should never fight this Imla because you level up units. If you level up these units become really tanky and the DPS going crazy, and actually you cannot do nothing. So the good choice here is going harass, ignoring this army, and come back when your forces. This is why I don't like battle wagon strat. And wow, this is a complete waste of the horn, completely waste. You cannot win this. Just go back. Why you should use your horn? At this point you should just creep, chill out, creep this, creep this, creep this, maybe even creep the troll if you can. Try to spawn some soldier, and I really disagree with double military building start. This is horrible. This is absolutely horrible. This is a macro mistake that you should never do in a game. Let's pause it. So let's pause the game, please. How you suppose to build double military building if you don't have any eco? What's your map, man? What's your minimap? You have nothing. Watch. No eco, no eco. You have only 1 eco, so how can you pretend to spam battle wagon and unit at the same time? This is just inefficient. This is absolutely inefficient. What you should do if you do battle wagon start, it follow up with 3 inside eco, and then you go directly into the Ered Luin Guardians and into a barracks. But at this point, this is just inefficient, so this is a huge mistake. This can cost you the game if a good IMBA player would crush you in this scenario, because he just pump out more sword than you. He would kill this battle wagon. By the way, the micro of this battle wagon is not so bad. You went around, but you lose entirely 2 battalions of sword for completely free, and you nearly level up to level 2 this clump. So these archers will do nothing if not being annoying. You see, for the simple reason This orba was not so good. For the simple reason that you need support. So actually you're focusing fire the pikes, which I kinda like it. But the things that you need to focus on is the macro. You're basically a complete all-in here. It's really hard to transition for something like this. You started with double military building, and this is not even be greedy. This is just to be super aggro and to going completely all in. At this point, if we compare your supply with your opponent's supply, would be probably the same, but your opponent is way more rich than you. You see, and he's even banking. But if you watch your eco, at the moment he has 3 eco inside, 1 outside. He's going for this, he creeped the troll, he is really efficient. He's not playing particularly good, you know, your opponent's Nance, but at the moment he's way more efficient than you. So at this point I see a completely bad macro from you and decision making. You should focus a little bit more on the game and never do this. Never do a double military. Do 1 military and 2 eco, then 1 military again, or you do completely greedy full eco, or you do barrack first into 3 eco into battle wagon, which makes sense. Or if you don't want to go for eco inside, you actually creep way more and you go for eco outside. At the moment you cannot even bank because your eco, you're so poor, you're completely poor, you're like bankrupt, you know, you're a disaster at this point. Your economy is complete disaster. And yeah, I like the fact that you're focusing full of micro, focusing down the spikes, but actually this battle wagon with low life would not be able to chase down this 2 battalion for any reason in the universe. If I would be Mladic at this point, I would even trade you and I would demolish you. So now you wake up, you see, well, I cannot produce so much. So what I can do at this point? Yeah, I can creep, yes, but if you build pikes, don't creep the wildman, instead creep the walks, which is way more efficient. Again, we talk about efficiency. Every unit has his rule in a day, like in every RTS. You're trying to do something here, which I really don't understand, or maybe you're going directly for the trolls, which make no sense. Again, you have a trolls way closer to you. So at this point, this makes absolutely no sense. With this unit, you should or creep these walks, or creep directly the troll. At the moment, what you are doing in your decision making are really poorly. Now you're going for double pikes for whatever reason. Even, yeah, your opponent is going for cavalry, so 1 additional battalion of pikes is quite okay. But I mean, you're overproducing even pikes. You are already 2 battalions, so you're going directly for pikes Hudson. Comp, which I personally don't like. At this point, if you would be way more efficient, at this point you could have at least 3 battle wagon on the battlefield and way more supply. You could even be on 700 supply, to be fair, if you would creep a little bit more, instead of breaking your opponent in the early game, which makes absolutely no sense. Now this battle wagon will die because cavalry completely counter it. So if we talk who is ahead at the moment, you are absolutely not ahead at this moment. You are absolutely behind in the game, because you were hyper aggro, and hyper aggro against a macro player never works. Instead you do a ton of damage in the early game. There is a way to play a Red Lewin hyper aggro actually, but it's not like this. You should, you know, you should break while creeping the IMBA. So you scatter this, which is actually really excellent. You should split 1 battalion here and 1 battalion here that demolish the IMBA army while creeping, and macro behind with internal eco and keeping the pressure high. But this is absolutely not the way to go. So at this point, I feel a ton of mistake. Luckily, your opponent, to be fair, is not playing amazing, but he's not even playing so bad. I like his style. He's pretty conservative. He takes some damage in the early game because he was not so accurate, but it's not even so bad. So at the moment his macro is actually terrible. He banked so much, and this makes absolutely no sense. If a good IMBA player with this macro would have like built maybe 3 battalion of sword, he would multi-prong you and you were actually dead. So your mistakes are the same of your opponent. At the moment I feel like you two are on the exactly same level. This is just a coin flip who will win this game. The best matchup will win. The better matchup will win. Actually, this is what I feel. Your opponent is nearly 2k. What he will go for Glorfindel maybe. So this is the IMBA here that come out. I don't know. I don't see the reason why he should bank it. Okay, something is being built. Probably is Glorfindel then, right? So what you are talking about is about a Glorfindel rush, not a Glorfindel in general in a full macro game. Basically, oh, and this here make nearly no sense again. Wow, what are you doing? You really don't like economy? You should macro before. What the hell are you doing? So at this point, if your opponent is mad, we will retreat the cavalry and he will demolish everything with the rest, which he's doing. So Glorfindel is on the battlefield and we keep an eye on it, right? I really don't like this portrait of Glorfindel. This is an old elf lord of 3.8.1 if I remember correctly. So at this point, Nick, at this point, my friend, we got a huge amount of mistakes in this game. You are extremely behind in this game. You are actually absolutely not winning. This is a misreading of the game, a really hard misreading of the game. We will have a look at the moment what will be your transition, but I cannot feel a transition. You have only one eco building, and if you watch outside, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, you're not winning. Your opponent has way more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see? So let's talk about Glorfindel. Glorfindel received a huge buff from 4.4.1 into 4.5. I guess that this level 10 get nerfed in the recent version, which is a good because you can one-shot an entire army for real. But this level 3 actually now works, so he can fight and heal at the same time, which make him really tanky and hard to kill. The best way to counter Glorfindel at this point is just to avoid him when the ability is activated and come back when the ability is not when the ability is in recharge. So at this point, I feel like this game is a little bit. To me, this game is absolutely over, and your opponent won it. It's not winning about Glorfindel. It's winning because his macro is way better than yours. This is the reason. But maybe you will come back. He will lose all, and you will lose an entire clump of dwarves into only this hero, which I personally don't believe it. You see, he's taking damage. You're, by the way, gonna counter him. By the way, gonna excellent against hero at the moment. The way you're countering is pretty okay. You should only use your mines a little bit better. Since Glorfindel is a cavalry unit, you can just place 1 pikes inside your mine, and when cavalry comes out, you just put your pikes out and you kill the cavalry. So this is again a way and not paying respect to your opponent forces. This is what I think. So now you're going, but you have 3 units inside, which make no sense. You're doing nothing at the moment with what you have. You're just hiding your. I don't know. Feel you're like you're really a little bit too passive. I mean, everyone can blind the hay move around the map in the early game, but it's not the way to go at the moment. The way to go should be to harass and multi-prong the IMBA player. And if you want to, again, if you want to really be hyper aggro, you should save your Eredluin Guardian abilities and go directly for the sword. So at this moment, I don't feel that Glorfindel is OP because he did absolutely nothing in this game. The Mother Wagon also were micro, even not so bad. I like the fact that you put the Mother Wagon in your clamp, so actually you can save it and cavalry can take a ton of damage, which is not a bad micro from you. I mean, you're just playing inefficient. One time you play a little bit more efficient, your micromanagement of the unit is also not so bad. So I guess that the only thing that you need to learn is to macro management your race a little bit more, because at the moment you feel like you're really bad at it. Really bad at it. It's not about micro, it's not about multitasking, it's all about macro, and you did the job to level up this war to level 5, which now become a problem because now this unit have 175% more attack and 175% more HP, which is fucking huge on the IMBA units. So again, at the moment, if we watch supply, you're not winning the game. We can say at the best that you're even, but you're not, because your opponent has heroes and you haven't. So at this point, okay, I can personally believe that Imladis is completely winning this game. Completely winning. Also Obit, so you cannot trade. This is why you lose the reason. So now we keep an eye on Glorfindel. The moment Glorfindel is on level 2. On level 2 Glorfindel has absolutely no ability. Now you have 3 battle wagon on the battlefield. How many of them do you have? You have 2, 1 you lose, but it's not a big deal. You did quite a good job to keep them alive. You should not really script this, because this work, I feel like this work will kill the farm for free. You're clumping too much. You were hyper aggro in the early game, but this is the same thing. You're not sprinting, so you send 2 battalions here instead of 1-1. I see a lot of mistake. Also, watch, you're not spending, but at the moment, no. Okay, my mistake. You're spending and not even so bad. You're going for eco level 2. We can say that you got a horrible early game, but a medium mid game at the moment. This is what I feel that you got. Still, we are far from what I would like to see. And what's this Glorfindel? The only thing that is stupid in this game is the IMBA well, which allow him to replace units for free. Yeah, this is really dumb. But this is not about Glorfindel, and at the moment he's completely winning thanks to this. Glorfindel is still on level 2. So at the moment I don't feel a big game, but then why actually you use this? You cannot trade that. It's not possible. You will see why, you see? Now he blind charges into your pikes. But hobbits, you should fear about hobbits at the moment. Because, hobbits are a good spell. And every IMBA player with a little bit tiny brain can take hobbits. So, at the moment, when hobbits are not on the battlefield, your trade will become just inefficient, and actually you need to take a spell. Okay. I see the idea. You're thinking you're ahead just because you have your eco level 2. But actually, again, you aren't. You are really behind at the moment. You're really behind. You have 300 supply against nearly double supply, and your opponent has way more map than you. So I think you just missed the game reading at the moment. Let's speed up, man, because this actually is kind of boring. I want to see where Glorfindel become really OP. Okay. You do nothing here, your army is completely alive. Sirdan. Sirdan is a really nice and useful hero at the moment because he's unlock your Linden, and also this guy queue you up to the Linden battalion, which make again really no sense because Linden are fucking expensive. So the macro of your opponent is actually horrible. But again, it's not enough to win the IMBA clamp at the moment. Okay, let's talk about it. Again, you have Lico level 3, but now I'm nearly no farm outside. So you got 3-4 farms, you're extremely behind, and now Lindens are on the battlefield, you don't have a real counter. So I think I strongly believe that this game is over, no matter Glorfindel. Glorfindel was a nice support, but actually did not so much. I agree that this level 5 is really strong, but I mean, yeah, it's a tanky hero, but the DPS of him is not so high until he level up. I think the real problem is the level 10. But again, you're not showing me the imbalance of Glorfindel, you're showing me a bad macro management from both sides. So actually, I really cannot judge from this specific replay if Glorfindel is really IMBA. I really cannot. How far is from upgrade? Get upgrade pretty late. You got level 3 fire hardos, which make no sense. Again, you don't need more DPS to kill no armored units. You need armor against this Linden because this Linden will wreck you. If I would be this IMBA player, I will go here with an Amangus Clump in the middle and focus fire this two battle wagon and kill them, then focus fire your archers. Or maybe even better, focus fire your pikes and trample everything with the cavalry behind. Also, this here makes no sense. This makes no sense because you're not recruiting battle wagon anymore. See how kill the battle wagon? Yes, his opponent now is level 2. It is so. So, speed up a little bit and see Glorfindel OP maybe. Let's see the engagement. Nothing is happening. There we are. So, let's go. And let's see if we can watch OP Glorfindel. The moment he do nothing. This is something that is really OP, Gandalf. Bad micromanagement. You lose your Gandalf and your spell did nothing. This is a horrible mistake. You cast a level 6 and you did nothing. Now, watch this damage of the Linden. He will wreck your archers because you build no armor. You got only damage. This battle we're gonna do nothing. At the moment you cannot even start a step because he is really covered by Linden. So at this moment, the moment you lose the game, you overcommit too much, the upgrade timing was bad, you don't have enough units, the macro management in general were bad. We can sum up in TXT file later, give you some tips. I was kinda okay, really nice in this, so you cannot blame me to be aggro. This should be the last engagement, right, Imla? Why you don't take an outpost and you spam 1 billion rams and you go direct into his base? Your army cannot be broken, your Glorfindel is level 8. It's not about Glorfindel, Piggy. You're right, Glorfindel is a good hero indeed, but I analyzed his replay and he was complaining about Glorfindel. The thing that he should complain in is of the game around. This is absolutely over. It's not possible for you to win. Oh, Elendil, we got music bug. This is for you, Elendil. Music bug. We don't have the music anymore in-game. You can trigger that bug with the speed up of the game. It works the same. So again, this army is just way better and you can do nothing. This game is over. Yeah. GG. So let's go, Nick. 1. Your early game make no sense. You must do some kind of eco, otherwise you can't produce from both racks and forge. Yes, it's called, right? 2. You were way too much aggro without no damage. The game was over after 2 minutes, in my opinion. 3. You should work a little bit more on your counter system mechanics. At the moment it is really bad. use mines better. You can put pikes inside. So, let's read the email again. Hello Spartacus, my name is Nickliv and today I nearly uninstalled Dane. You will ask me why? Well, the simple is Glorfindel. Thanks to that IMBA hero, I also got an out with a good game partner. That hero is just ridiculous. He's super cheap and he can win an entire army alone. My macro was absolutely perfect. I will not comment that. In that game, and it was really hard. I will not even comment that. Also guess yes, I will. 5. Your game sense was bad. You were losing the game, and you thought that you were ahead. So actually, you were absolutely behind this game. You're not winning. You don't lose for this idiotic hero. You lose for your fault, for your macro, and for your decision making. Sorry, Nick. Sometimes it's hard to accept, but the sentence of this replay is clear. You suck. And Glorfindel in this replay is not IMBA. Okay, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Of course, no offense, Nick. It's just a series, and this is the format. So, GG. See you next time.